Really wanted to have a chat to you about Athletic Mindset, your business.
Yeah.
So why did you set it up? What's it all about?
Why did I set it up? I think one of the things people struggle with, especially youngsters these days, is having confidence and self-belief in themselves, especially when they get to the performance side of things or integrating with the adult side of their sport or even their business. I work with young business men and women as well, giving them the confidence in their performance in the boardroom or sort of like with sales or whatever it might be. And I think a lot of people judge themselves by how they look, but also the way they think is so important to change the strategies, change some habits. And I think if you ever go into a sport or if you ever go into a competitive arena with self-doubt in your ability, that's where performance suffers, obviously. And we've all seen it, like the likes of, we're avid Everton fans. We've seen the likes of Wayne Rooney, right? He burst onto the scene, but when he had his lull, everyone was on his back. He, was depressed, and that was a very young age. And I just think that professional and amateur athletes, no matter how good you are, how competitive you want to be, they always need their mind to lead the way, and then their body, their nutrition, and everything will follow. So I believe it's an untapped kind of area where people skim over. Whereas I must be competitive, I've got to be brutal at this. Well, no, you don't, actually. You've got to set yourself up in the right way and let your mind actually see a really clear pathway for your, I call it the pathway to performance or your performance process. How do you get to your performances? What are the processes you go through? So, we're talking things like visualization and mental rehearsal. We're also talking about growth mindset. Where can you make a 1% gain that's going to give you that advantage over to where you were and over your competitors? But also fundamentally, do you see things as opportunities, an area to grow, or do you see it as something you can't accomplish? And that's where, the challenge then becomes to overcome these things with strategies. And SMART goals, people talk about them all the time, but what does that mean? It means breaking it down into little bits to achieve something in a massive way, and that can be accumulative over 3-4 years or 14-15 years in a career, or it could be within 6 months that you're in a different level to where you are right now. So mine's always fascinated me. I work with a lot of clients when I was working in London on the fitness side and the conditioning side, a lot of professional athletes. And what always fascinated me was the difference in their mindset and the psychology between that athlete and that one. Both were at the top of their game. Both were fantastic athletes in their own right, but their mentality was so different because it was personal to them. And, I've had the chance to work with some fantastic mindset coaches and listen to some fantastic mindset coaches. And, the one thing we don't want on our ski slopes or on the football fields or the rugby fields or wherever it may be, whatever arena it may be, we don't want robots. We want personality. And how often do you see it in the sporting world today where you've got one guy who performs like the next one because they come from the same school or they come from the same club? We want personalities. We want someone to actually have integrity. And I think that's what I try and instill in people is like, be your own person and create your own pathway to your performances.
For the top performers that you've worked with and you've observed, what's the difference in their mindset compared to someone that's maybe not performing at that top level? What's the difference?
Unwavering self-belief. Like, I'm prepared. So, again, like I said, I've been listening. I listen to podcasts when I'm working, when I'm, at my desk, but also when I'm in the gym, when I'm working with personal training clients and conditioning clients, in my mind, I'm listening to things that I've heard from before, saying, how do I get this person to the next level? What is it that I need to listen for and look for in this? And I honestly believe there's like 6 areas of preparation. And the minute you go into competition or an FA Cup final or a World Cup final prepared to the best of your ability, you're just then relying on your skills. It's something you've done before, and nothing phases you, nothing scares you. You're not afraid to take a chance. You're not afraid to be curious. And I think, on that point, for me, like I said, there's 6 areas of preparation, and other coaches have brought this up before as well. 5 of them are off the field. The one that's on the field is your on-field skills, your skill set. So in training, you're working hard on your technique, your skill set, where your growth mindset into how you can become better at, whether it's football, like shooting or turning on the ball, whatever it might be. That's your on-field skill set. That's your on-field preparation. Off field, you've got your sleep hygiene, you've got your mindfulness, you've got your nutrition, you've got your hydration, or nutrition and hydration both together. But also what you've got is your strength and conditioning and your fitness. And if all 6 of them are on point, how confident are you going to be at the top of the ski slope in your first ever World Cup competition? Or how confident are you as an 18-year-old lad going onto that field in Man United's Theatre of Dreams? And we've seen it with Kobe Mainu. How confident is he? It's because he's been educated in the right way. His fitness is on point. His mindset's on point. But more importantly, his sleep hygiene's been drilled into him that needs to be on point for you to perform every week. Your nutrition, everything that we don't think about. It's all about your skill set on the pitch. It's not at all. It's just one minor facet. So
it's all about preparation. So let's
mainly, I would say 90% of confidence and self-belief is about preparation. The other is about knowing that you're doing the 1% things that other people aren't doing.
And a lot of that's behind closed doors as well.
Oh, 100%, mate. A lot of that has been done 4 or 5 years before, or has started 4 or 5 years before, and now it's just your routine. So, love him or hate him, look at Cristiano Ronaldo. The way he looks out after his body, his mind, after a game, before a game, that's what's kept him at the top. It's not just his physical prowess. Mentally, he believes every time he steps on the pitch, he's going to be the best player on the field.
You've got to respect him.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I was reading something the other day. If you can negotiate a contract for £3 million a week in a Saudi Arabian club to get, re-sign in the next week or two, I'm just thinking, well, he's going to be 41, 42 by the time he comes to the end of that contract. And you're just thinking, no doubt that he'll want to carry on after that as well. So,
but he's built a reputation.
Yeah.
That he can continue because of all this preparation you talk about. Because of, there was a brilliant moment. I saw him in an interview a while ago, and in front of there's a whole bunch of cameras there, and someone had placed some Coca-Cola.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah,
and I love that because he just picked it up, moved it over there, and picked it up and went Aqua.
Yeah,
and it was like, that's why you're great. Like it's stuff like that where he would. I mean, obviously, it's that plus a million other things as well.
Yeah,
but that's the attitude. That's the essence of it, isn't it?
Absolutely. And a lot of people get fixated on what conditioning training or what fitness training they're doing. Everything. It's about your recovery. Recovery starts the minute you finish that game. It starts in the change room. It starts on the walk back to the change room. You're recovering your mindset. You're getting the water in, whatever it might be. How many serious injuries has Cristiano Ronaldo had?
Not many. I can't remember many.
Exactly.
I can't remember many.
And yet, he started playing in the Premier League at, 18, 19? Mm. So you're telling me in that 21-year career, or whatever it's been, 21, 22-year career, by the time he finishes, and to not have a serious injury that's kept him out for longer than a year, that's remarkable. And it comes down to him. It's not just about the physios and everything else. Of course, he's got that. It's about him and his mindset and his willingness to work. I think it's fascinating. Like I said, love him or hate him, for me, he's one of the most ultimate athletes that you can ever have built, and he's built it himself.
Why don't we break down those points? Because I think what would be really valuable to people is to go, okay, sleep. Mm-hmm. That's one of the points, but how then do you get the best sleep for your recovery to be optimized? How do you, whether you're in business or in politics or whatever it is you're trying to optimize for you, how do you kind of take that Ronaldo-esque approach and apply it to your life so you can optimize what you're doing? So let's break down those kind of facets that you're talking about. Let's start with sleep. So I know how important sleep is, but how do you optimize? How do you get the best out of your sleep?
As a non-negotiable, you've got family. I know, I haven't got kids, but when you've got kids and when you've got everything going on around you, your non-negotiable of having sleep hygiene is, I've got a match tomorrow, I've got training tomorrow. I need to be in bed by this, but also I need a darkened room, or I need absolute quiet, or whatever it might be. So you condition that. This is where I need to put myself. And I put myself there. Yes, it's selfish, but if I want to keep playing until I'm 41, if I want to keep performing the way I've been, I need that 8 to 10 hours sleep. Professional athletes probably need at least 7 to 9 hours sleep, good sleep, and they'll nap in the afternoons. Right. But that's for recovery. It's not just because I played a big game, I'm going to sleep. It's for recovery. It's about an hour's sleep in the afternoon, so let your body recover at the best rate it can while you're asleep. lowest heart rate that you can, right? You know, get all that food, all that energy, all that recovery in, and then sleep. And I think you've got to be diligent. It's about routine and discipline. Sleep hygiene, you know, yourself, you know, just had another wee one join the family. Sleep hygiene is a pretty funny thing to be talking about, I should imagine, at the moment.
It's probably the worst time ever to mention to me.
I know.
But, you know, because we're waking up 3-4 times a night because we need to feed, you know, a 1 week-year-old, and we've got a 4-year-old to look after. So obviously it's taken with up until recently, our sleep hygiene was very strong.
Yeah. but hygiene's a funny word as well, right? When we think about sleep, it's about going to sleep on time. It's about screen time as well, you know, no screen time whatsoever, half an hour before, is really hard to do. Yeah, but if you're serious about going into that boardroom even the next day and performing for the next 6 months on your sales targets, nothing's going to get in your way. So it's about you taking control. And I'm a massive believer of things that you can control. Just take control of one thing, and then the rest snowballs. You know, everything outside of your environment you can't control. So what Ronaldo, what best do in the world is they condition themselves so well in a bubble that when they perform, that's what they're conditioning themselves for. So
I love that this is just the thing you can do at home in private, and it costs nothing.
How good! Like for me, like, and I'm sure we'll talk about this. Like mindfulness, meditation, not a thing for me. My mind's like a washing machine sometimes. So for me to have 2 minutes before I go to work, when my partner's asleep, and early in the morning when I'm going to the gym to train some clients, I sit there for 2 minutes with a glass of water. Don't do anything. Don't move. Just sit at the kitchen table. That's my mindfulness. It's about me preparing to go, okay, cool, let's make today awesome. You know, and let's take things on. Let's take challenges on today. And let's seize my opportunities that I have. And that's my mindfulness, you know. 120 seconds. That's me. I can't do any more. I've tried so hard. But that's my mindfulness.
And does that prep you? What are you doing in that time? Are you setting an intention? Are you thinking about how you're going to show up? What's going through it? There are affirmations. What's going through your mind at that point? Or is it about not focusing your mind? I'm not sure. What's going through your mind?
What's going through my mind is being the best version of myself. And that sounds, you know, very cliche, but if I'm not the best version of myself, then my clients, whether it's in the gym, whether it's nutrition, whether it's mindset, I'm on a Zoom call with someone for an hour who's a professional sportsman. I'm with them for an hour. They've got my full attention, you know? So today I'm showing up for all of my clients, but I'm showing up for myself because that's what my business is built on. And that's what I'm built on, is my integrity. That if someone's hired me as a performance mindset coach or a sports nutrition coach or a conditioning coach, whatever it might be, they've got me for that hour, 2 hours, or they've got me for the next 4 or 5 months. And every time I see them, that's dedicated to you. Because you
to be present.
100%. 100%. And I've received some great feedback from people just watching in the gym when I'm with a client. It's about how they move, you know, and I want to know how they move. I do a movement screen with them, but not just to see how they move, how they react to disappointments in the gym. I can't lift this, or I can't move that way. And they come up with excuses, or, my left knee's not too good. Okay, cool. So you're already telling yourself, your mindset's already telling yourself that you've got a weakness. Okay, let's train that out of you. You're not there yet. You know, and that yet is the best thing to put on the end of a sentence. In fitness, nutrition, mindset, you yourself, you know, you've been on a journey like I have, and everybody has. I'm not there yet, but progress over perfection, because we're always chasing that glass ceiling that just keeps getting higher and higher. Once we break through one, we'll always set another one for ourselves. Not there yet, but hey, my knee's feeling better this week. I feel stronger in the last 2 to 3 weeks. My eating isn't on point yet, but what I do feel is that when I train, my recovery is so much better. Yeah, I feel stronger and ready to go again. 1% gains. Yeah, and I love that. I love that fact that people don't see it in the gym or their nutrition. And all of a sudden it's like, wow. And mindset, you know. In our most difficult times, we have one person to rely on. And I think when we build ourselves up over a period of years or months or weeks, whatever it might be, telling ourselves the same thing, negative or positive, then there's a reaction, right? If you tell yourself negative things, you always look down when you're walking along the road. You know, one of my coaches said to me, the world is at the end of your nose, not at the end of your feet. So look up, embrace the opportunity, and just going to the gym and being able to do a 45-minute session after an ACL injury, you know, and rehabbing for so long, then all of a sudden it's about taking those steps on the treadmill and, you know, those sort of things. Our mind's exactly the same.